Hello, we're in a cemetery in West Springfield, Massachusetts. It's actually 5 cemeteries in a row here on Kings Highway. And that's because there's 4 Jewish cemeteries, and then there's the St. Thomas Catholic Cemetery, which is by far the largest of all. Now, in this cemetery, we'll tell you only about one row, and we'll tell you it because it's the most interesting, it takes the most points of properties that we need to listen to. Now, and then after that, we'll do 2 panoramics for you. Now, you notice the first outwards in that row is the second row towards the left after you enter the gate. It says Rabinovich, and that's all. But on the back, it has both Hebrew and English wording, and it tells about the family, the husband, and the wife. Right. Now, the next stone in says, beloved wife and mother, Dora Friedman, and her years of birth and death. And it doesn't have anything in the back, so there's no Hebrew, which is kind of unusual for this particular cemetery. We're in the Kodimoh cemetery, and it belongs to the Kodimoh Synagogue of Springfield. All right. And these properties hold for all of the Jewish cemeteries basically around this area. And I'm trying to show you the properties again for each one. The third one in says Albert Friedman, and it gives a year of birth and death, beloved husband, and dear father. And then below that it has 3 lines of Hebrew text. Right now, the next one in is a husband and a wife, Nathan and Anna Jendon, and it gives their birth and death years and dates. And it gives you greetings on each one. Loving father and a friend to everyone. Beloved wife and mother. Now here the Hebrew script comes in 3 different lines. Right? And what it basically does, it repeats what's in English. And so the first line of Hebrew is telling you just what I said. Loving father, so forth. Beloved wife, so forth. Gives their complete name, Nathan Jendon and Anna Jendon. Then it gives their birth year and date, death year and date, and then it gives a Hebrew greeting that says you'll bond yourself to all bonds of heaven in the future. All right, now the next one in is a man that died during World War II. Isidore Goldstick, Massachusetts Corporal, 3rd Bombing Group, World War II, died April 24th, 1942. And it has in Hebrew below that basically the same information they just had. So you might ask yourself, what does it say in Hebrew? It says the same as English, basically. Except that one added line on the very bottom on all of them, which is always the same, and it's an abbreviation for you will bind yourself to the bonds of heaven. All right, the last one is Harold Jack Weber, also died during World War II. It says beloved son, private in the 29th Infantry Group. And he died on June 6, 1944, which is D-Day. So he probably died in the beaches of France on D-Day. And that happens to be today, but 80 years later, of course. Okay, now and below that is the same script of 5 abbreviated letters saying that you bind yourself to the future. All right, so it's a nice road to look at. You get a lot of properties, and you got 2 beautiful memorial stones. So we have a quick 360 and then one more after that. And I'll start on this road we just featured. And up above, it has many other Jewish names and also a lot of Hebrew script. The oldest part seems to be by that second tree upwards, a maple tree on the left. I found some from the 1920s. I bet you there's some from the 19 teens also inside of here. Now, the only entrance road for this cemetery is here, but it meets in the back with the Bethel Cemetery Road. And then on this side, you have some of the more modern stones. It does not include any part of the cemetery that's on the far side, because that's Bethel in one of its 3 parts here. So there's 4 Jewish cemeteries, but the Bethel has 3 parts. So there's actually 6 parts here. And then the next thing I pointed out is the gates themselves say right on them, Congregation Kodimoh. And that congregation started off in Forest Park neighborhood without a church. without a synagogue. And they probably started about 1916. Their first building was from 1923, and that was on Oakland Street. And then in 1960, they got another building going on 124 Sumner Avenue, also in Springfield, and that's still there and still active. And that's a much bigger place. Their previous synagogue before that was taken over by Kisser Israel. Now, to the side here is a little chapel. It technically belongs to the Bethel Cemetery, which it borders it, but the Kodimoh can use it, of course, because all these cemeteries are joint properties, even though they belong to different congregations. Okay, so we're going to have one last 360 for you. Thank you.